Hello and welcome to Gaia GPS. This is where we come and pull cards for the major astro transits in the week ahead. I'm Mimi and I'm here with Maya Kana.
Hello everybody.
And we are diving in with the moon shifting into Pisces. So this moon moving into Pisces on Monday. Of course, I didn't write down what time it's moving in at. What time is it moving in at? 7:26 a.m. So Monday morning has us preparing for the full moon. So we're going to definitely be feeling the intensity of emotions, possibly building with this full moon energy. I have a very interesting message from various card decks. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to start with Osho. From Osho, the number one card that I have is actually the Outsider card. And it's funny because I was talking to Maya about this card earlier, that there's two ways of looking at this card. One is that the gate is open. So you see this lock here on the gate, that the gate is open and you can just go right on through into that happy sunset. And that may be the case for you. But what I'm getting with my other cards that I have going on here is that maybe this gate is helping protect you. And that's kind of the thing with Pisces energy, is Pisces energy is so open wide, so connected to all that is. The Pisces can feed in and allow in anything. I am pulling card from the Kuan Yin deck, and from this deck, I have Spin the Silken Thread Divine. And it's saying, you know, sort out that which is not precious and pure and true. You're going to begin a new cycle, and we are going to begin this new cycle with this full moon. Full moons bring kind of like an ending and a new beginning kind of energy. So you're beginning a new cycle, and it's time to release that which does not align with your true heart. Choose to release all vows, agreements, connections that no longer serve your highest good. Again, holding us from, I don't know, anything that's not for your highest good, not serving us, not serving our highest and best success. And what I have from the Angel Therapy deck is the Crystals card. It says the energy of crystals support you and help you with your present situation. But again, what popped into my head, I'll show you. I have one sitting right here, was more protective crystals. I thought of it like a hematite or a, why can't I think of it? What's the black crystal? Tourmaline. I thought of a tourmaline. I actually have right here, it's called Shiva's Eye. It's an agate, and it is a protective crystal. But that's what popped into my head immediately with these cards and this energy. Again, there's so much energy swirling around as we, you know, begin to get closer into Scorpio energy. We have Jupiter planning to go into Scorpio. You know, Scorpio is approaching. The veils are thinning. Things are coming through. We're tuning into these energies a bit more. So this may be a time between this moon in Pisces and building into this full moon, these heightened energies, to be very aware of what serves your highest good, what serves your success, what feels good to let in, and to know where you may need to use a little support to protect yourself, or to be like, no, this isn't an energy that I want to engage with in my life. Know where to put down the boundary. That also goes really well with the Sun in Libra. That was my horoscope for today, was being really aware of creating this harmony within yourself, which sometimes means saying no to these things that are, you know, not in harmonious energy with yourself. So be very aware of that as we move into this success energy. The success, I think, is going to be very tied in with this this full moon that we're building into. And be aware where to cut and release. Just tune into those strong silken threads. That's what this card is, the Silken Thread Divine. Those silken threads, those strong supportive connections for you. And then utilize what you need to utilize for those things that do not fit with you. And crystals may be a supportive tool as you work through this Pisces moon. It's like from Monday morning until, you know, Wednesday in the afternoon that we're going to be working this Pisces moon energy. Maya?
Yeah, so the moon into Pisces on Monday, my thing recently has been about feeling into the flow of the week ahead. So starting our week with the moon into Pisces energy, it does mean kind of a slow start to the week, or it could mean that. because the moon into Pisces is actually the completion of the lunar cycle. So it's the end of the lunar cycle. So we're starting the week on this ending note, right? And this sort of moon in Pisces energy, which can be very reflective, which can really thrive on a meditative energy, an energy of imagination and stillness. So this might not be a week to go sort of, to really plan a lot at the beginning. You might want to plan everything for the middle, actually, because by the middle of the week, we're going to be, we're going to be starting fresh. But this moon into Pisces is actually about completion. It's about completion of this lunar cycle. And I have some very interesting cards that mirror this message today. I have 3 cards from the Osho Zen Tarot, which came through like this. The first was the traveling card, which is about the journey and being present on your journey and enjoying the moment. Then I got the completion card, which is about ripeness and really achieving your ripeness. And this is like the fruit naturally falls from the tree when it is fully ripe. And then I got the completion card, which is about like finally coming to the end. And it's like endings usher in new beginnings. So when I take these cards together, this to me means like we are coming into the end of this phase that we've been on, and we are about to start something new. And so on Wednesday, we're going to have a full moon, but in a way it feels kind of like a new moon. Like it feels like we're completing, this cycle of the past month or so, and we are preparing to step into something new. So if you're feeling like a little bit of endings or you're feeling this need to reflect at the beginning of the week, definitely don't resist it. It's definitely in alignment with the Pisces energy. It's a time for quietness. It's even if you may be starting your work week or things like that, it's really a time for quietness, a time for being compassionate with yourself and others, a time for listening, a time for tuning in. So I also have here, I really like the woman on this card from the Magical Unicorns. Maybe if you just look at the picture, this is the thankfulness card. One of the best manifestations of this Pisces energy is just the sort of awe of being alive, like being so grateful for the spiritual support that we receive, or thankful for the beauty of the people who are around us. This is the complement to Virgo energy. Virgo can be very focused on like what isn't quite right, but Pisces is like, it's right. Like, I am so happy to be here, like I am so filled with love. I am so filled with compassion. So I think we can step into the week in that thankfulness, particularly thankfulness for our connection to spirit, and thankfulness for what we have learned, like thankfulness for what we have learned in the ways that we have grown through this cycle in the past several weeks. And I did get the presence card. This is very Pisces. Like being present in the moment is a path to awakening. And this card says you live in the moment and are able to bring forth the energy of love in your circumstances. So this to me says, as we start the week, be present with whatever energy is there. It's not necessarily a time to project into the future or things like that, but it's a time for just being really present and showing up with love and compassion for yourself and for all those around you. And like I said, I really recommend if you're able to get kind of a slow start to the week, like to just really ease into it and to take some time on Monday throughout the day, Monday night, Tuesday, to meditate, to go within, to connect to spirit and let spirit know I am grateful for this process that you have moved me through. So that's my take on the moon into Pisces.
Beautiful. All right. So on Wednesday, we have the moon shifting into Aries, preparing us for the full moon on Thursday the 5th. But this is not the full moon. This is just that moon shifting into Aries, building into the fullness. And I feel like when the moon is building into the fullness, this is really a great time to utilize the letting go ability of the full moon. Full moon energy is one ultimately of harvest. And what we want to harvest is those intentions, those seeds that we planted 6 months ago. But as we have this full moon building, what happens is that our emotions start building. And this is one of the cards that I have. I have the let go card. And here you see there is this this water droplet. It's kind of like a tear. And I'm not saying that it's going to be emotional. It's Aries. Aries is not, it's not an incredibly, like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's not an incredibly emotional sign because that's not true. It just doesn't usually express sorrowful or, kind of crying emotions. But I do feel if that comes up for you, that's going to be super healing. In fact, I got a facial the other day, and I was talking to her, and one of the things had just been at this class, and she said, the way our bodies process things, there's two big ways that we actually have major releases. One is crying, and that really helps, like, release things from our liver and kidneys, and the other is orgasm. So I get crying from this more so. Show up for whatever emotions are coming up for you. I have the master card as well from Osho. Part of being a master is not in the suppressing. It's knowing the healing in letting go. It's knowing the healing energy in showing up for your emotions, in being there, allowing them to express. Aries can be a sign where it's like, I want to rush forward. I want to move forward, like forward ho. Absolutely, keep moving forward. But please, if your emotions are coming up, if you're feeling things, feel it, release it so that you can, use those tears to nourish your dreams so that you can bring forth that which you want. From the angel therapy, actually from the goddesses. Do I have angel therapy card? I don't know. From the goddesses, I have the Nematona, sacred space. And it says create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. But maybe you want to create a little bit of an altar, create a space in and of this energy, in this building full moon, where you can honor anything that needs to come up and be healed and felt at this time, where you can honor your personal mastery. This is a great thing. Aries is the sign of I am. Do you have an altar for yourself? It's up here. You can't see it. But I have a Mimi altar right here that is dedicated to me. And maybe it's time to shift that altar, create that space, let go of those things that no longer apply to you so that you can tune into where you are right now in your personal healing and mastery. And to finish up, I pulled a Gaia Oracle card as well. And I actually want to read some of this because I really like this, even though the message is a little bit different, but I think it's such a powerful message. It is Sacred Earth Mother, a message of love. It says, we travel the endless corridors of our mind until one day we find a pathway that leads us to our heart. Who you truly are has nothing to do with your personality, your achievements, successes, failures. The you think you are is an actor playing a role that your soul has chosen. The essence of you is soul. Light with no beginning or end. You are an eternal spark of pure creativity, unlimited potential that yearns to be expressed and fulfilled. Your potential is your destiny. It awaits your call. Trust your heart. Apply its love and wisdom to all you do. In this way, all you create or do will be a true expression of your soul. It is through expressing your truth that you create things of lasting value. Be true to you. And you may want to re-listen to this message as you're tuning into these things that you're letting go. Because I think that these things that you're being called to let go of are these things that are not true to you. They're not true to your highest path at this time. So listen to that message to remind yourself who you are. And the affirmation is, I am in essence light. I am in essence soul. I am pure creative potential. I am guided by my heart. I apply love and wisdom to all I say and do. Maya?
Yes. So the moon into Aries on Wednesday, October 4th. To me, taken very literally, this is an energy of starting fresh. It's fresh starts for us. It's interesting to me to look at the moon into Pisces energy at the very start of the week and then moving into moon into Aries. Both of these placements do really thrive from time spent alone. And so it makes me think that that'll change as we go into Friday in the very end of the week. But this could be a really good week for nurturing your relationship to yourself. Every week is good for that, but the energies are really supportive this week where I could see this moon into Aries energy as it builds into the full moon on Thursday. If we force ourselves to focus on our relationships or being around other people, it could maybe manifest as arguing or like feeling exhausted. See, I got the exhaustion card here. To me, if we flow, if we try to flow upstream in this energy, we're going to get burnt out because everybody's going to need time here in the middle of the week to tune into what's really in their heart. And I really do think we should allow people that time. So when the moon moves into Aries, I think it's not best to try to force people, because Aries needs to find its own way and figure out like what's authentic. Where's that authentic impulse? What do I really want to do right now? So this would be a really good time for projects on your own. You know, those things you want to do that fulfill you, that maybe you put off. I think it'll give us a boost of energy to sort of start fresh on our goals and things like that. I did get the gratitude card from the Power of Love. So this says our love power to tap into as the moon moves into Aries is being grateful. And this card is specifically about being grateful for the lessons that we have had. So again, this is starting a new lunar cycle. So we want to think about life gives us lessons. Sometimes we don't want them at the time that they happen, but then when we look back, it's like, oh my gosh, I grew so much through that. I became this person that I am today. And the moon into Aries to me says, be grateful for who you are. We're all who we are, and a reason we are all needed here. That is why we are here. We're all offering a unique frequency to the planet. So this is be grateful for who you are in this energy, and be grateful for the way that the universe has worked in your life to bring you the lessons that you need at the time. And if you get a lesson during this energy, which you may very well, there's a lot of themes, which we'll probably talk about in the next transit. There's a lot of themes of balance through this energy. And so for anybody who might be out of balance, it's likely you will get a lesson. And just know that the answer is not extremes. Like, the answer to your inquiry is neither extreme. The answer lies somewhere in the middle with these energies. But then to finish up, I pulled some cards from Magical Unicorns. And I swear I always get these cards like for these moon transits, but whatever. Okay, I got like Wish Upon a Star, and then I got Happy Surprise. Okay, so this is like when the moon is in Aries. We are meant to be excited about what lies ahead. We're meant to have that impulse, like to push ahead on our goals and things like that. And that is true to the Aries energy. So this Wish Upon a Star says, okay, here's your new wind. Here's your new wind. Here's your fresh energy for the next part. And if we really do that, like if we believe like, yes, this is bringing in goodness for me. Like, yes, this lunar cycle is bringing in so much goodness, then we may get a happy surprise. I love this card, so cute, you guys. There's always happy surprises to be found if we are looking through that lens. And the final card that I had today relates to what Mimi was talking about with healing, which is I actually got the Mending card from the Wisdom of the Oracle. And I want to read through this card. I think for some people, this energy will be felt as a push forward, depending on how much work we did in the last lunar cycle. For other people, it might be like a final finishing up, like a final clearing here on Wednesday. But the card says, each time we are hurt and allow that hurt to pass through us without understanding and integrating it, we will accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things that we need to heal: the pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is a time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends for others. Set yourself free. And my biggest message for the energy this week as a whole is don't fight. Don't fight. Like, so you may feel that impulse to want to fight to get what you want, or to be heard, to have your opinion heard. Don't fight. Like, don't fight, mend. Don't fight, mend. The Mending card. Let go of those.
I have the fighting card in reverse. Don't fight, mend.
Okay. So let's transition into the fighting card in reverse.
I love that. I was like looking at that. Don't fight, mend. Well, let's talk about some of the balancing energies that are going on. This full moon is so fascinating to me. So I've been talking about in the horoscope for a long time how we have Venus and Mars coming together. So with this full moon on, let me look at the date, Thursday the 5th at 11:40 a.m., right before that, 9:53 a.m. Pacific time, we have Venus conjunct Mars. So this full moon is happening in Aries. So the full moon is in Aries, the sun is in Libra. What planet rules Aries? Well, that would be Mars, the young planet. What planet rules Libra, where the sun is? Well, that would be Venus. So here we have the sun and the moon bringing this balance with the full moon energy, and then yet at the same time, here we have Venus and Mars together bringing balance. This is mending. This is togetherness. This is union. I wish that I had from the deck. I wish I had the integration card, because that's what I'm really feeling. Now, you know, those of you who are on the twin flame path, I know you're like, wow, union. Well, hopefully, hey, you never know. Happy surprise, right? But it is ultimately about the union within yourself, the union in among your inner personal yin and yang energies. There's a beautiful divine time for this union and for this balance at this time. Now, this fighting card, what's interesting is that if you are feeling this fighting, what that's showing you is that you're out of balance. There's some place within you where you're not being true to yourself. And that place where you're not being true to yourself, it's kicking and punching. So if you're feeling this fighting energy, this is a good time to take a look at yourself, this full moon in Aries, the sign of I am. Look at yourself and see where it is that you may not be being true to yourself at this time. So many fascinating things around all of this. So I always love to say the Sabian symbol. The Sabian symbol for Aries at 12 degrees, which is where the full moon is a triangularly shaped flight of wild geese. And when it goes on to talk about like what this means, what this symbol means, it talks about the Hindu sign, the Hamsa. And the Hamsa is actually represented by a geese. And I know a lot of people are thinking Hamsa, that's the hand. Well, that is also Hamsa. But Hamsa in this is represented by the goose, that flying energy. It can also be represented by a swan, by the way, too. There's a Guru Yogi Raj, who I love, who talks about the Hamsa, and he represents it with a swan. So a swan or goose, but that represents our soul. And what it's saying is like our soul is rising. There's a transcendent nature that's happening. This full moon energy, what it's saying is it's helping our soul rise. And every time I have talked about this triangularly shaped, row of geese, this is the card that's popped into my head. The intensity card. This arrow moving straight into the light. And that's what my feeling is with this full moon energy. Your ego, let's be fair, your ego may want to find this balance with somebody else. But like Maya said, that may lead to some fighting. That may not lead to mending. Your work right now is this kind of singular, ambition, singular intensity of moving to the wholeness and the integrity of your own personal light. The balance is going to happen by itself. It's going to fall into place the more you can focus on the singularity of your life, the singularity of your personal balance within. So with this moon, with this full moon energy, focus on that light. With this full moon energy, focus on your I am vibration. The full moon is lighting up the I am. And the sun and the moon, they're always dancing. They're always interacting with each other. And the moon is always like shining and showing off, like this is how we're interacting right now. And here the moon is in her fullness and in her wholeness, reflecting the sun, so that interaction with the things outside of yourself, it's going to be anyway. But all you need to do is focus singularly on yourself at this time, being true to yourself, being in balance with yourself. Purification. I have this card. I like this card with this. From the Gaia Oracle, I have purification by fire. And what it asks is, what does your heart truly desire? And are you being impeccable to this? And to basically burn away anything that is not true to this. Again, it's that letting go, shedding energy that can come up with the full moon, even though full moon is ultimately harvest. This is a fiery moon. It may be burning off these things. And what it's leading to as it burns it away is very essential. It's the naked truth, your personal wholeness. Come back to you. Come into this balance in you with this moon. Do I have any other cards that I'd like to show you? Yes, I do. I want to show you more of my Osho cards. And I think my Kuan Yin card as well. I have 2 Kuan Yin cards. I have so many cards sitting in front of me right now. I have more fire cards. Experiencing, and here's my traveling card. You know, this is the thing. Like, so often, what I'm imagining, God, this could be a game even. What I'm imagining is somebody going down a hallway, and it's like people holding out their hands with all of these offerings. So like this person's holding out a coat, so you put on this coat, and this person's holding out a bag, so you put this bag on, and then there's another bag, oh, and yet another coat. We go through life kind of like this, where we kind of go down our path, our traveling path towards the light, towards the wholeness of our soul, and we accept these offerings. Like, thank you for these offerings. It's very nice. But over time, we're like, oh, wait, this coat doesn't match my outfit, or this purse doesn't match, this doesn't feel good. This is too heavy. It's time to take off those things that we've accepted as we've gone down the path. Yes, we needed to experience them to know if they were right for us, but this is a beautiful opportunity to be like, this vibrates with who I am. This vibrates with my own vibration. This doesn't, and I can take it off. I have that ability. That's part of this purification process. Thank you for the experience. I needed to experience this, but on my path, this is not going to be something that serves me anymore. This will help us get into better balance within of ourselves. Think about how unhappy you would feel, walking around with like 5 different coats on and like 7 bags and like multiple sunglasses and accessories going on. You'd feel like fighting. That's what's going to lead to the fighting. Those things that you're carrying that are not pure and authentic to where you want to be right now. So this is a beautiful time to compassionate release it as you move forward with the singular, triangular focus. I also wanted to bring up, before I show you my last 2 cards, that full moon energy is a time of harvest. So think back to where you were. The end of March, it was March 27th that we had the new moon in Aries. What seeds did you plant at that time? Are you still being true to those seeds? Have things changed? Have things shifted with those? But again, this is a good place to notice if you put layers and layers and layers on top of that seed that you wanted to plant, and it's like it's trying to reach for the light, but because you keep putting these layers on, it hasn't reached it. Maybe that's another place where you can purify, release, and let go. All right, so to finish, I have a Kuan Yin card, the Shining Lotus, which just, again, talks about allowing our inner lotus, our soul to blossom, our true self to shine forth for all to behold. So this is really a blossoming and blooming Aries, the I am vibration. And from the goddesses, I pulled Kuan Yin, compassion. Release judgments about yourself and others. Focus on love and light that is within everybody. But like, focus on your lotus, love and light. And look, there's a beautiful full moon right there. So focus on your light that you can shine up. Purify, release any of those other things during this strong, powerful moon, balancing moon. Focus on those things that can be burnt off at this time so that you can show up in your personal wholeness, your personal I am vibration. It's so powerful. It feels so good. Maya?
Yes. So full moon feels like a very significant full moon for anybody who's working with the themes of interpersonal relationships of any kind. I was commenting to Mimi, we were talking beforehand, like this is the exact inverse of the energy under which I initially met my twin flame. So this is like a portal. This full moon really is a potential portal, just depending on your own personal energies, but you really, really want to show up consciously in this full moon, because if you show up consciously, then you manifest what you want out of that portal. And the first card that I got today from the Magical Unicorns, this was the Imagine card. And this card says, what would it be like if your dream came true? Imagine what it would be like if your dream came true. And I I understand that this is for children, but like, this is also magic. Like, this is how magic actually happens. Allow yourself to focus on that highest dream, highest outcome for your life. Feel it. Let yourself feel it. Think about it. Keep your thoughts elevated to the highest possible levels. This is a time where if you may be imagining that dream coming true. Maybe it is a dream for true love and you hold that frequency and the person might knock on your door. Like, I'm not saying that will happen, but I'm saying like this isn't one of those times where that could happen. So imagine your dream coming true in this energy. Now, I got another interesting series of cards from the Osho Zen Tarot. The first in the series being the Burden. Okay, if you haven't done it already, if you are still carrying around other people's expectations for your life, if you are still carrying around other people's baggage, those cutting words that people sometimes say to us, you know, that we replay over and over again. If you are still carrying that stuff around, that is a burden that you must release. You must release it. This is your final chance with this full moon. You've got to release those burdens because this card says you have dreams of your own. Like, you have ambitions of your own, and you are here not to fulfill somebody else's ambitions. You are here to fulfill your own ambition. Imagine your dream coming true, not your mom's dream for you, not your ex-boyfriend's or girlfriend's dream for you, but your dream for you. Imagine it coming true. Release that baggage from others. I got the completion card again. This card will not quit. Like, okay, this is really significant. Okay, it's saying like, this is your final piece of the puzzle that you are working on. Things are coming together. The universe is trying to complete something. And I suggest that we allow that completion to happen because I also got, Mimi had pulled this card too. I got the letting go card, okay? And when I see it like this, like the burden, completion, letting go, it tells me that for some people, this is the end of karmic relationships. So we may have burdens from, and when I say karmic relationships, I don't necessarily mean romantic, like a lot of friendships, coworkers, stuff like that. It can be karmic. Like, this is like, okay, let go of the burden of that other person's influence on your life. Let the process complete. Let it be done. And then what this card says to me, maybe I had mentioned the drop, like what it's doing is it's falling from the leaf into the water. And that is beautiful. Like, in that letting go, we fall from an environment that never really was ours. You know, that water doesn't belong to that leaf, but it learned to live there. It's falling back into the water where it really came from. It's returning to its ultimate, truest, purest essence of source. That is what we're meant to do during this time. We are meant to let go and to fall into our destiny. But if we are still holding on to the burdens of what other people thought our destiny was, then it'll be difficult for us to complete that cycle and fall into our true destiny. So again, this is a very powerful energy. My last two cards that I got the cooperation card from the Power of Love. Which basically says we've got to realize, and we have to do this in order to forgive and let go. We have to realize that every person is bringing something of value to our lives. It says, in your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realize that every person and every experience has value. In order to let something go and return to our wholeness, we have to acknowledge that nobody ever really hurt us. That everyone was working for our benefit. Everyone was working out for us. Every experience was helping us become the person that we are today. So I think this is something to consider, like, because we did mention that the lower aspect of this energy could be arguing and trying to assert our opinions onto other people and things like that. When we accept that nobody has done anything to intentionally hurt us, and that our whole reality is conspiring to help us grow into the soul that we are destined to become, then it becomes really unnecessary to assert ourselves onto other people and to show them who we are. And then, speaking of showing people who we are and being shown who people are, the final card I have today is the Truth Be Told card from the Wisdom of the Oracle. And here's the message. It says, people tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experience up until now. A higher truth will be found, after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Speak your truth and listen. So this, when we have these big Aries energies, people can become a little bit unleashed and just show you who they are. That's kind of Aries, is like, oops, I accidentally talked and I didn't think first, you know? If somebody shows you, if somebody shows you who they are, and it's one of these people, then listen, you know? And maybe you wanted to see that person in the best light imaginable, but maybe that's not how they actually are showing up in your life, truth be told, right? So I think this is just saying, like, this is a time to see people who they are. Ultimately, the highest perspective is we know that everybody is working in our benefit, but we, at the same time, we also may need to release burdens and allow these karmic connections to complete so that we can move back into the pond, so that we can, you know, move into the next level of our most authentic journey. So yeah, this is my take on the full moon in Aries. I had a little note here that says, if you need to fight, make it a game. That's my recommendation for anybody who's like, Maya, I just need to, like, get it out. You know, I have this energy building up, full moon in Aries. You know, okay, maybe play some tackle football or make it a game somehow. Maybe play, I don't even know, but maybe whatever board game, or if you have to fight with your partner, then do it really playfully. Tell them you want to do it playfully, okay? But don't do it for serious, because when this full moon energy clears, then the intensity is going to be gone, and it's going to be like, oh, oops, what did I do to my relationship? So just saying. Yeah.
I have to say that I have Lala here rolling all over the cards, and I'm blaming her. My fault. I missed one of the cards because Lola, I almost called her Lala, rolled on top of one of these. And I feel like this goes so well with everything that we're saying, both of us, for the full moon. So I'm going to go ahead and just share it. I have the dragon from the Animal Spirit Guidebook, and this represents the solar plexus, that place of power. And I want to read, like, all of this. I'm going to try not to read all of it. Let's see, where is it that I want to? When we look in the mirror, deep inside our eyes, we glimpse the self beyond the self, the one who is watching. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformational fire into every cell of our body, witnessing this omnipotent energy. Omnipotent. I always do that. Omnipotent. It's easier to say omnipotent. Omnipotent. I can't even say it. Omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride as we traverse even the most difficult terrain. The dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. That reminded me of what Maya was saying. They see the beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim. Agni is described as the inner fire, or the sacred intelligence. Maybe just even the mention of the dragon will stir the embers of this divine intelligence within you, to help you see the beauty, but at the same time, to help you connect with that power and that fire that is within yourself, this third chakra, the solar plexus chakra. So powerful energy, still transformational, powerful, letting go, seeing the beauty, dragon. And I gotta tell you, I have a beautiful connection with dragons. Dragons are not like evil warlords that they've been made out to be in some of those things. Like, they really did, like, they're kind of like cat roosters. Cat roosters. That's my connection to dragons. Like, a little bit squawky, but they're really, really little pussycats, well, big pussycats. So, but find your inner dragon in and through this energy to be true to yourself. All right, so that's it for me from that full moon. Do you have anything else to add with that?
God bless everybody. Like, yes, you can. My thought is, like, for people, you know, that are really interested in relationships, this kind of feels like the final exam. Like, it really does. Like, it's like, okay, here's everything you've learned. Here's your opportunity to put it to you, like, to actually show up consciously now that we've learned all of these things. So good luck. And
Godspeed.
May the outcome be realized.
I love that. You know, it really is like another way that's showing up is that we are finishing up Jupiter in Libra, and Jupiter in Libra has been expanding our essence of understanding relationships through understanding our relationship first and foremost with ourselves over this last year. So over the next basically 10 days, I mean, Jupiter's shifting into Scorpio on October 10th. So basically, from the time you're watching this, over the next 10 days, Jupiter is finishing up in Libra. Again, these final degrees, this final exam. So I 100% agree with you about that. Not to mention, wow, having Venus and Mars conjunct with this. Like, that keeps blowing my mind, and there's nothing that I can say that can convey the, like, wow factor that's going on within me with this. Like, it's like, whoa, really? Like, wow. Like, that's all I have. Wow. That's it. It's so intense. It's so amazing. Maybe I'll be able to get more than wow out for the daily horoscope on that day. All right. So to finish up this week, we have the moon shifting into Taurus on Friday. I didn't write down on my cheat sheet the times of the shift. So that's shifting right around 5 p.m. Pacific time. And it's interesting because I definitely have some interesting cards in and of this, but I have two matches. And I'm going to show you these matches first because I would not necessarily think this with the Taurus energy. But here it is. So from the goddesses, I have Isis, past life energies. And it says the situation involves your past life memories. And from Osho, oh my God, you have the past card too. Maya has a past card. And then from Osho, I have past lives. So I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. Like, this is very interesting. As, you know, and this is just kind of the way the cycles go. You know, as we burn through, purify, release these things that are up to be released, we're given the next adventure. And this next adventure, it looks like, will at least in part be dealing with things that we have experienced before. Now, again, like I mentioned, this is very interesting. I also see this in my cards. We are finishing up Jupiter in Libra. And a big theme of this whole year and a big theme of Jupiter in Libra has been the theme of worth. And I know for myself, and I know for many of my clients, that while we may have collected worth points in this lifetime, worth points in either direction, like that lower our worth or up our worth, that a lot of times there are deeper worth issues that do come from past lives. And so it may be with this moon into Taurus. Moon in Taurus does deal with worth, by the way. Taurus is co-ruled by Venus. So it does deal with worth, our worth on this earth. It may be that for this finishing up, we're kind of diving into this. We're taking a little walk, taking a little hike, taking in a little adventure into our worth experience so that we can raise this energy. Now, it's interesting because I have the adventure card, and then from the Gaia Oracle, I have apprehension. So we may be feeling a little apprehensiveness when it comes to these things that are coming up. Things do not come up for us that we do not know how to deal with. And fortunately, there are a number of practitioners out there who can also help you deal with it. But I want to tell you, this is part of the worth work. If something is coming up for you, you can handle it. You can deal with it. You don't have to do it alone. You absolutely do not have to, but you can. And just know that there is nothing that comes up for you that you cannot handle. So if you're feeling that apprehension, take a little time, reassert yourself, know your power to step into this adventure, but also don't be afraid to reach out. It's funny, I have the dream card, which the dream card is, well, funny enough, this is the Six of Cups, which very interestingly, Six of Cups in traditional tarot does actually deal with past life potential relationships, old relationships, past relationships, old, you know, coming back to the surface. This may be some old relationship stuff, but to me, I'm also seeing with this card, the Six of Cups, like the ability to reach out. The Six card that connects to the Lovers card, which is like reaching out. You have companions, you have friends, you have people who can help support you in and through whatever this process is. let's see. What I love, I think this is so funny. So I have the past life cards, and then from Kuan Yin, I have Weave the Future Golden. And so here it's talking about the future. And I have from the animals, the tiger, Eye of the Tiger, which you remember the tiger card earlier, the success card. So here it is. It's taking you into the successful future, this golden future that we're weaving. But right now, for some reason, it might be, like I said, this worth stuff with this moon in Taurus, we're having to dig in and just shift some of these energies that, I don't want to say are blocking the way for the Eye of the Tiger, but that you just have to take care of. You have to do the work. Like, you have to do the work and just show up for this at this time. It's like Spirit's like, hey, we're just finishing up. This is this cycle. This is this with this worth stuff. It's preparing us for Scorpio, Jupiter in Scorpio. So just be willing to show up for it. And like I said, if you need to reach out to somebody, by all means do it. Don't think that you have to do it yourself, but you are capable of doing this work. Maya?
So the first card that I had is the past card, and I was showing this to Mimi when she showed me her initial cards. Because of everyone that I pulled, this is the one that surprised me the most. Like, what does this have to do with Taurus? But it could be as well. We're talking about the moon in Taurus transit. That's happening on Friday, but there may be other aspects in the chart that are highlighting this energy. But anyway, I'm going to read this because I think this is meaningful for some people. So it says, the past is done and the future is yet to be. All you have is the now, and the past is your greatest teacher. Everything that has happened up until this moment is the product of the person you see in the mirror. That is why the power of now is so important. Only in the present do you have the opportunity to create both your past and future. Always be mindful of your present moment thoughts, because in seconds, now will be your past, which you cannot get back. You don't want the past to steal your future, and the bridge between the two is the present. Okay, and so anyway, I don't want to read the whole thing, but it talks about living in present time. And to me, that is the message that's trying to come through for Friday and Saturday, is live in the present. And this is really highlighted in some of the other cards that I pulled for today. The first of which was experiencing. I mean, this really sums it up as like everything to be experienced is only available in this present moment. This person, I mean, look at that. Like, it seems like this person is cuddling with this tree. I'm just saying, I don't know, but like, that's what it looks like to me. And that's a pretty high embodiment of moon in Taurus. Like, this idea of, if there's something that you're going to do, I've been doing this with Zaire recently. Like, at night after the sun goes down, we've been like putting on all our headlamps and lanterns and stuff and going walking in the forest and just like feeling the stillness of the forest. If it's not safe where you live, then don't do this. But what I'm saying is, like, this may be a time to get out and just be present. And I think being in nature is a really good way to do that. But whatever it is, like, if, let's say somebody does come back into your life from the past, okay? Let's say that that does happen. It's important to experience your connection with them now in this moment, rather than reliving what happened in the past. Like, only from this now moment can you make the best assessment of whether or not, you know, it feels good to be with that person. It's interesting because moon into Taurus, it can sometimes bring us like into alignment with long-term relationships. Like, Taurus loves committed love, like committed friendships, committed relationships. So if somebody comes up from your past, just saying like, they come during this Taurus time, it might be that there is something more significant that wants to be played out, something more long-term, but make that decision from the present moment. I did get the playfulness card here, and I think that this is beautiful to enjoying the Taurus energy. It's like, let yourself, like the love that you seek, the joy that you seek, they are intended to be found in this now moment. Like, be playful in these energies. Like Mimi was saying, Taurus is ruled by Venus. So this is good. Like, this could be beauty. This could be harmony. This can be delicious food. This could be wonderful, like, Taurus enjoyment, but be present and really enjoy. I also got the postponement card, and this is literally the same message pretty much. Like, you know, these are pretty much all the same messages. So this postponement card is like, why are you, like, when you're so focused on your dream of the future or your missed dream of the past, then you're postponing your experience of feeling wonderful in this now moment. If there's, you want to kind of think about, okay, that dream that I have for the future, why am I holding that in the future? Why postpone that? What part of that can I actually experience by being present in the now? How can I bring that into my now present moment? And how can I release postponement? I mean, we may be holding out for a certain experience, but we can still feel the emotion behind that experience now. Why should we delay that feeling, right? And then the final cards I have are from magical unicorns, okay? And I got a real practical one. I got the exercise card, okay? Do you see that unicorn? It seems to be like marching in a field, and it looks like fall to me. In fact, it looks like Saturday, October 7th. I don't know, just saying. But no, like really, like Taurus brings our attention to the body, or it really can, like in our senses. It can be a good time to get some exercise. It says run, walk, swim, or otherwise move your body, be in your body. You know, that's good for Moon into Taurus. And then I also got the True card. Taurus likes truth. Taurus likes truth, straightforward, like this is honesty. Taurus loves honesty and forgiveness. So be honest, like allow the truth to emerge from within. Moon in Taurus. That's my take on the Moon in Taurus.
I looked up what the other transits were. I was looking at them. A transit that we have during this, which is interesting, and this might be some of the past stuff, we have Venus square Saturn. So Venus is in Virgo square Saturn. So that could bring up some of it's like closing out those old lessons. So that could definitely bring somebody from your past. Good. But I like what Maya said, like, well, who are they now? Like, what did you learn then, but who are they now? But then I also think of a different Maya's wisdom. I think of Maya Angelou, and she said, when somebody shows who they are, believe them the first time. And I am an optimistic Sagittarius, and I always like to believe in the best of people, but I have also learned that lesson from Maya Angelou many times. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. So it's like, be open to them and who they are now, but you had those lessons for a reason, you know, so also remember those things, I think.
That's interesting. I got to meet Maya Angelou when I was in college, and that is what I remember. Out of everything that she said, she was talking about her life story and stuff. It was like, yeah, when somebody tells you who they are, listen to them. Yeah. And that came through in one of the other cards, like that I just pulled, which was the Truth Be Told card. Sometimes people will sometimes tell you, like, I am a mean person. You don't want to be my friend. Like, if someone tells you something like that, vast majority of the time, like, you should probably listen up to what they are actually saying. So I think this is going to be a really interesting week. I think it's going to be a really interesting week for relationships. And yeah, I hope that everyone may just have very wonderful and memorable experiences of the heart and soul regarding their relationships. And I think that's very achievable this week.
I agree. My focus this week really seems to be the focus on the wholeness of the self. And I am eager to see through Mimi language, through these experiences of like really honoring yourself and being true to yourself, what happens with our relationships. Because I think when we're true to ourselves, I think when we honor that, I think it gives an open door to everybody to do it. And that's when I think relationships really, truly do thrive.
Yeah, my goal is going to be to understand my personal truth and to have fun exploring other people's personal truths at the same time, and then to see how we can blend them to meet in the middle and make something totally new based on both of our different values and different truths, like to find the new point, the center point. That is my goal for this week.
I love that. I don't know who said this. I mean, it's just a universal thing, but I'm thinking of a specific person. I feel like Rumi, it's a Rumi thing, when he says that when two energies come together, a third energy is always produced, which we know. So that's basically like, I love that. You're playing with like, here's my whole energy and here's your whole energy. And then let's see, what are the rainbows that are energy? Like, that's like the sun and water connecting, and their third energy is rainbows. So what kind of rainbows is Maya and these other energies going to produce? I love it. I think that's really fun.
As long as you know who you are first. You know, there is this, I did a Valentine's Day event this year, and there was this Osho reading that we had during that time, I'm pretty sure. And it was like, you, like, in order to experience with a love with another, you have to be overflowing in love with yourself. And that's where that Aries energy earlier this week comes in. And so what Mimi's saying is true. If you are not overflowing with love for yourself, then it's not a good idea to engage in that love with another. But it just so happens to be that I am overflowing with love. So I am going to be playing this week with the love with another and to see what comes out of it.
I don't think I know somebody who's overflowing with more love than Maya is overflowing with, which I think is fantastic and awesome, and why I love having her on GPS, because I think she gives us a beautiful glimpse of how to overflow with love in and of ourselves. So thank you for that. Thank you for doing this. I keep switching around my words today. Thank you for doing this with me these last couple months. It's been a joy. And I wanted to tell you all, Maya and I have started a new venture that will be coming out on Maya's channel, so Maya's Dream. And it's a monthly reading of major astrological transits, and it is geared towards twin flames, but I know I have a nice little portion of you guys who are twins, and you know what, honestly, I think even if you're not twins, I think you can benefit from the wisdom that we bring forward. Do you have anything to say about that, Maya?
Well, just stay tuned. Just check tomorrow morning. If you're watching this, if you so happen to be watching this on Saturday, it should be up sometime on Sunday. And Mimi and I are really enjoying our creative collaborations together. And I just wanted to say, it's been a pleasure to fill in for Nikki during this time. It has been so fun and so wonderful to connect with all of you. I am happy for Nikki to be coming back, though, and I love watching you guys together doing the GPS. So just thank you for this opportunity, and everybody stay tuned for more collaborations between Mimi and I in the future.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us this week. I hope that I'll see you next week with Nikki. Thank you, Maya. Check out her channel, Maya's Dream. Check her out. You can always book a reading with Maya at Choose Faith Not Fear. I highly recommend that for anybody who needs some major relationship support. And she does other stuff too, but I think it is amazing what she can do. And I always tell her how amazing I think it is. You can book a reading with me at GaiaBlooming.com, and I will see you next week. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye, everybody.